is you telling me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. This is Throw the Hook Podcast, episode 30. I got my partners in the building with me, man. Ty Finney, the legend, aka In This Corner Podcast. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? Glad to be here. Easy day at work. No better place to be than here and chalk the spots up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got my dog in the building, man. Boxing First Vlog, Mr. Unruly himself. What's going on, big bro?
Man, just on my P's. Glad to be here with my P's.
Absolutely, absolutely. I gotta give a shout out to my dog, J Will. J Will's in the building at 6:45. 6:45. My dog. That's what I'm talking about. He said, what a great start to the month of May with the Japan super fight in the morning and the Mexican showdown at night. Facts, bro. Facts. We got a good weekend coming up of fights. So we definitely looking forward to it. Jay Will said vlog. Finney, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
What up?
You know what I'm saying? Man, we got so much cooking, man. Before we get started, man, swing over to Boxing First Vlogs YouTube channel. Go ahead, go subscribe there. Hang a left turn. Head on over to In This Corner Podcast. Go and hit the subscribe button over there. And bust a U-turn. Come right back to G5 Jeff TV. You know what I mean? Hit the subscribe button there. You know what I'm saying? You follow us, we follow you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to support, wherever we're getting supported. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to everyone. And Vlog definitely has been putting in some work. So definitely go check out his latest videos that he's dropped. Finney got interviews coming up. You know what I'm saying? I've been on a hiatus for about like a week. I just work been kicking my ass. But we back in this thing and we got a bunch to cover. So just to get things started, Vlog's good friend Mike Coppinger stated that Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson are in talks to fight, but the major hang-up on this is the weight. So Vlog, I'm coming your way first. How do you feel about Shakur and Haney possibly fighting? And do you want to see the fight, due to it being possible weight issues? Does that matter to you?
That's a problem with it. Second problem, and the most, obviously the one that stands out the most, styles make fights. You got two dudes that fight the same style. It's not going to be a legendary fight. It's not going to be one for the ages. I spoke on it earlier, so y'all can backtrack it, check my video out. You know what I mean? I kept it short, sweet, simple. Just to explain why this fight is not necessary for boxing. It's not the right style to make.
Okay. How big of an issue is the weight for you?
That just makes it more insignificant. Because it's not a weight fight, there's no belts on the line, there's no rankings on the line, there's nothing on the line but bragging rights between two dudes that have the same style, and they're arguing about whose style is better. You can't prove that fighting each other. You can only prove that versus guys that'll challenge that style.
Fair enough. Legend, what's your thoughts on that? Are you is that a fight you want to see? And how important is the weight issue for you? Is it important to you or not?
Yeah, of course it's a fight, I want to see. These are two big names in the sport. Both guys have got great accomplishments. But yeah, the weight issue is the thing. Haney just went up to 147, became a champion. Shakur, just beat Teal at 140. So yeah, what's the weight going to be? Is Shakur going to try to go up? Is Haney going to try to go back down? So it's definitely a conflict with that. So I think that's definitely going to, put this fight back. But hopefully they can come to terms with something and get the fans a great fight. But I don't think it's going to be any knockdowns or anything like that. I could just see it being a skill fight, a tactical fight, but nothing really entertaining. Just a lot of back and forth. But I think Shakur will come out victorious, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, the weight thing that's a major issue for me. And I'm gonna tell you why. Like, first of all, I'm a fan of both guys. Like, for some reason in boxing, you can't be a fan of two fighters at the same time. Like, it's crazy. But I'm a fan of Shakur. I'm a fan of Devin Haney. Now, the problem I have with this fight and with the weight is that I feel like Shakur is playing both sides of the street. Like, when it came down to Conor Ben, you didn't hear anything about no rehydration clause. Vlog, am I correct on that? Am I correct?
I think it's something he would have stuck to if they actually got a negotiations in play. But as far as to put it out there as a way to poo poo on the fight, it would have looked bad on him. So I don't think he brought that up in that scenario based on it just would have looked bad. In this scenario, he's using it as a defense because the fighter he's trying to get to do it has already done it, but did it in a different situation. So it's a lot of cat and mouse with it. That's why I don't think it's a good fight. Things like this.
Yeah, I just that whole, like I'll come up to 147, but there's a 10-pound rehydration clause. Like, for the record, I hate rehydration clauses.
Jeff, real quick, it ain't even the rehydration to start with. He wants to fight at 143, 144. That's just the start. Let alone the now talking about rehydration. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Let me rephrase. I hate catch weeks and rehydration clauses. Damn near equally. Like, if you got to fight at a catch weight, then you shouldn't be fighting that person. That's just where I'm at with it. Like, if you're gonna go up to 147, and especially if you are gonna challenge for Haney's belt, which is the only way that fight makes sense. If there's a belt on the line, like, why would you why gotta be a 10-pound rehydration clause because you're the smaller fighter? Like, Shakur is kind of just hedging his bets in a sense. It's like, okay, I'll fight you at 47. But if I can't get the rehydration clause, I'm not going to fight. I might either go up to 147 and do some big dog barking, or stay at 140. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just stay at 140. Like, I would love to see the fight if it's going to be at 147, no rehydration clause. Then I'll watch the fight. I think it'll be a really good fight because I think Haney would actually fight a different style. I think Haney would get aggressive. Like that sparring footage from back when they were young. I think that's how that fight would really go. Like, I think Haney would really go in there and try to impose his size and his will on him, and skillfully, of course. And Shakur's going to go in there and try to just do what he do. But I heard the news. I was just like, okay, that's cool and all, but I'm just tired of Shakur tiptoeing with the weight. Like, if you're at 40, if you go into 47, let's take a complete step towards 47. Because I think if he fought Conor Ben at 47, I don't think he would ask for a rehydration clause. If he fought Rolly Romero, I don't think he would ask for a rehydration clause. I think it depends on who. You know what I'm saying? I think it depends on who. But that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, but we'll see how that materializes. But hold on, Jay Will, he said 140 to 147 is one of the hardest jumps in boxing, but I'd pick Shakur to still pull it off. 140 to 147 it's a major jump. It's a major jump, and it's like throughout history, it's proved to be a major jump. Like really, the special fighters make it not look tough, but usually guys go from 40 to 47. That's a pretty significant jump. So Jay Will, I do agree with you when it comes down to that. I don't
And
know. I don't know if I like Shakur. I don't know if I like Shakur in that fight. Go ahead, Legend. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, like, of course, I want to see the fight. Like I said, they one of the biggest names, but with Haney becoming a champion, I just think he got other business to handle at 147. He got undisputed. I think he could definitely accomplish that, being undisputed at 147. But I mean, so with Shakur in the midst, it kind of like sets those plans back. So if I was Haney, you know what I'm saying, becoming a champion at 147, I'll stay right at 147 and clean that up and become undisputed, because that's the biggest accomplishment for him right there. Shakur is just a bigger name. He's the biggest
Yeah.
name out of everybody. But like I said, Haney got other fish to fry, in my opinion.
A vlog. What would be the point for Haney even taking the fight? Like, what would be the point, if any?
That's why they won it at a catch weight where neither one of those titles that they're carrying is on the line. And it's literally a money grab, bragging rights fight. That's why I asked y'all, talking about legacy wise, with two names catching up like this, would this fight even equate to a Mosley Mayweather? Would this fight equate to a Hers Hagler, Leonard Hearns, anything like that? Because of the names, we think it would, but the styles and the way I see the fight playing out, it won't lead up. You think Haney would turn into this offensive juggernaut? That's not where he's best at. I'm telling you, we're looking at a fight where you will not see a combination landed. No one will stay still enough for somebody to land a combination
Yeah,
of significance.
it would definitely be on Haney to initiate the action. I just don't see the fight for Haney doesn't make sense. The fight doesn't make sense for Haney. Like whether I mean, if it's at 47, like okay, cool, but there's other things that Haney can be doing, at this particular time. But I'm like, we'll see how that go. But to be like, I'm screaming to the mountaintops to see that fight, I'm really not. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. Um, just next up on the news, man, Xander Zayas signs a multi-fight extension with Uncle Bob in a top rank vlog. Are you surprised by this news with his fight coming up with Boots?
Not really. I think they're just hedging their bet to keep a Puerto Rican star in their stable. At least somebody recognizable that they ain't got to build up right now. They've already invested. So let's stay invested. Whether he wins or loses, he's still going to be in the top five at 154, possibly able to move up the way the size of that head looks. Looks like he can carry 160 easy. So, possibility of him moving up and doing something at 160, a Janabek fight or something like that. You know what I mean? So they got action in house with him, even if he loses these titles, which the whole world anticipates him losing. So
Okay. Legend, how you feel about the Xander Zayas getting a multi-fight deal? Do you think he was kind of promised that if he took the Boots fight?
I think he just sticking and just riding it out with the promoter he's been with, and just sticking with him. Not becoming a free agent, not try to sign with anybody else, just sticking with who he's been with. Like I said, he's had a great career thus far. This biggest fight is upon him. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to be riding out with his promoter. So, but yeah, it don't shock me or anything though.
Yeah, I mean that's it's good to see because it's we got the whole Zuffa boxing thing going on, and there's a lot of people signing with them, and we don't know what's going to go on with the Ali Act. That's a whole nother story for the whole nother day. I'm actually going to do a long video on that because I don't think people understand the significance of what they're trying to do in terms of revamping the Ali Act. But I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna do a long video on that. Definitely probably 15, at least 15 minutes long to kind of give a general understanding of what's going on and what would be the significance if the Ali Act is actually revamped to the version that Dana White and Mike Tyson and them want. You know what I'm saying? So we'll definitely get into that at another time. But just to keep this thing moving, Big Baby Miller got a big win over the weekend against Lanier Perro. And the highlight of that fight was, like Vlog said in his video, that Big Baby threw over 1,000 punches for a heavyweight. That's like almost unheard of, to have that type of volume. Vlog, what you feel about Big Baby Miller's performance and just the fact that he threw a thousand punches in the fight?
I think it leads to people asking that question. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand the outcome and that leading to the question that everybody obviously talking about is whether he juicing. But I don't think at this point in his career it's worth it. It's worth what he may have owed to promoters in the past for money's lost based on what he's done to his body. So I think it's just a buildup of energy finally coming out. He's been inactive so long. I'm sure he hasn't getting a lot of wear and tear when it comes to sparring. Like he's too big, he's too old in the game to be doing any serious sparring. So he's just showing us all the energy that's been built up the past 3 to 4 years that he hasn't used in the sport. So I think, and then he was fighting a guy that he wasn't throwing literally 800 hard punches. Probably half of those punches were serious power shots. It was like he took so much off those shots to make sure he was pacing himself through the fight, staying active, staying the busier guy. It was a style fight. It wasn't really an output of I'm just trying to really literally outwork this guy. It was a style fight that I thought he fought in throwing that volume.
So Jay Will said, I think Big Baby would wear Wilder out. I mean, at this point, damn, does Big Baby Miller beat Wilder now?
It's a possibility. I mean, we ever hear of Wilder throwing that many punches? I know Wilder is known for the knockouts and everything, but the fights he went the distance, you hear about Wilder throwing that many punches?
Wilder might throw 500.
See?
He throwing all bombs. You know what I mean?
But you got to look at a situation that first of all, we're not going to get that fight. They're not putting that kind of money behind a Deron Miller non-title Deontay Wilder fight. That's not going to happen. PBC is not going to feed their last heavyweight cash cow for a non-title fight. That being said, he's not going to fight that same type of fight that he just showed Paro. You're going to be way too open. Way too open. Even if you're not throwing all heavy shots, he's not a knockout artist in his own right. So I don't think we would ever even see that sort of volume from him against a Wilder. It'd be way more cautious. He'd be way more defensive. A lot of singles thrown, not just completely opening up left, right, the way we've seen him doing these past couple fights.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I like what Big Baby Miller doing. I mean, it's his second fight in 4 months. He just fought January 31st, so him just being active. I like what I seen in the fight. Also with Big Baby Miller, you have to, of course, you can look at it and be like, hey, he threw 1,000 punches. But to be honest with you, I would say probably like only about 30% of them shots was hard shots. You probably looking at they were a lot of setup shots. Like if you watch Big Baby Miller, what he does is he'll throw a 4, 5, 6 punch combination, And them first 3-4 shots are like pity pat shots to try to get him to the big shot. He always tries to finish off his combinations with a big shot. But them first couple, but that's kind of the flaw in his game, though. Like his first shot is never like the hard shot. It's always just a probing shot. He tries to, land big on the back end, but I mean, still to throw 1,000 punches for a heavyweight, especially somebody that size, I mean, it's impressive to see. And I'm pretty sure the testing is probably more extensive with him because of his past. So he might have did that without the space juice. Jay Will said EPO Big Baby. Yeah, he was on that EPO crazy back then. Said True G5. Yeah, but it was a good performance by him. I mean, it's plenty of action for Big Baby Miller. At heavyweight, it's a lot of action for him. Ty, is there anybody in particular you would want to see Big Baby Miller fight next? Him coming off of two dubs. Hey, vlog.
Yeah, he didn't fight in 25. My bad, bro. Yeah, I was saying he didn't fight in 25, but I like what he's been doing like since his comeback though. He's staying busy, like you said, 2 fights in 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So he's staying busy, yo. So I like that on his part. But as far as him who he can fight next, that's something I gotta think on. But he doing his thing, man. Main event and everything. So salute to him.
Yeah. Well, vlog. I know your answer because I watched the video, but what's some guys you think Big Baby Miller match up well with?
I mean, he got time to bounce back, catch that winner of Torres Sanchez, which I think that's a PBC fight that a fighter PBC will go ahead and send across the street. And that's if you looking at Big Baby Miller as the A side in that situation, which I think he would be against Torres or Sanchez. I actually like Martin Piccoli. Because of Piccoli's situation with his promotion and things like that, this is a great fight for him. It's not a fight where Piccoli'd have to worry about getting rocked the way he did with Parker. You know what I mean? Because we know, Miller just ain't slamming shots like that to kind of scare anybody. So I just think it'll be a great fight just based on him having issues with getting fights with UK guys. That's a guy we know that will travel. So I think that'll be a great fight for him, even a Parker fight. You know what I mean? Give Parker a last little swing at the, hurrah stick. Shit, give him a home shot. You know what I mean? Put Miller on the boat, sitting down in New Zealand or Auckland or wherever exactly where Parker is from. You know what I mean? So I just think there's a few names out there, but I wouldn't be taking on none of these young bucks coming up, anybody like that. You know what I mean? Just definitely some of these guys where it's actual paycheck involved. It's actually like an elimination style type of fight. So yeah, but I don't think he's ready for none of the champs. He don't have a cachet just yet. He need a couple more wins.
What about Stephen Shaw, man? Like I've been saying, like he's been like saying he's been on the back burner. So I'm like, what's going on with him? Like, how come he ain't getting no fights?
You know what?
Promotion or what?
I don't know what it is, but it's crazy you mentioned that name. Because of course, like one of the hottest names in the heavyweight division is Moses Atama, and everybody's trying to throw him in with the top 3 of the division. But we've all been boxing fans for a long time, and you got to be extremely careful with how you move. What is he? 22? Is he 22 years old? Something like that. He's extremely young. And it's like you have to still go. I know he's a hot name right now, but you still got to go through that process of developing him based off of opponents. So Stephen Shaw would be a good fight for Atama. I think Big Baby Miller would be a good fight for Atama if they threw the right bag at Miller. You know what I'm saying? But those are the developmental fights that Atama would need, except for him just going right after like a Dubois, somebody like that. Like, you know what I mean? You still got to develop these young pups. But as far as Big Baby Miller's concerned, I would say I wouldn't mind a Joseph Parker fight. He got to stop playing with that. he got to stop playing with that white though. You know what I mean? He got to
Say
stop
that
playing with
booger
that.
sugar.
Yeah, that booger sugar. You got to stop playing with that booger sugar. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's next for Miller, but I mean, if he's staying busy, I wouldn't mind a Bacoli fight. That would be a really really good fight. For sure. But we're gonna see what's going on with Big Baby Miller, man. You know what I'm saying? No more toupees, got the low cut with the beard, you know what I'm saying? It's working for him, you know.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
I know I heard you state that Atama and where you think he's at. So to kind of get a bottom line of where you think he's at, do you think he's not ready for the winner of Wardley Dubois?
I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying if I was his manager, I wouldn't do it. I would still develop him. Um, I would still develop him. What got me on that route, bro. I think it was the last show that we did, and remember, I was so surprised that Dubois was like 28.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I was like, damn. I was like, he done been through a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at a young age. But I think you need to. There's some things with Atama that you got to figure out. I'd rather him figure it out against a Big Baby Miller who's not a huge puncher, against a Steven Shaw that's not a huge puncher. Like there's guys you can put him up against to try to figure out some things. Um, I wouldn't be against him fighting the Dubois and Worley winner. Just me personally, I haven't seen Atama in enough situations to where I would feel confident about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he beats either one of them guys, winner or loser of that fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to see a little bit more from young guys. Like, it's very few young guys that I would look at and be like, yo, I think they're ready for the top three,
Jeff,
top four.
Jeff, Jeff. I think that's just a genuineness of you to say that that young man clearly is way more physically gifted than each fighter. I think he's more sound in his traditional boxing ways than either guy, even though Dubois fights sound amateur wise and he's, very strategic and plotty like with his boxing, but it's slow, it's readable. Itama is complete opposite. He's a young, fast, powerful phenom. Obviously, shows some ring IQ as he got the knockout in his last fight against a guy who never got stopped. And that's something that I seen a clip before the fight where they said they was working on the punch that was going to get them that knockout. And he waited to get that uppercut off. It's something that wasn't forced. So that's showing me he's developing a ring IQ. And I think right now he's the best heavyweight in the game, the best heavyweight the sport has to offer. And I don't know what you're going to keep sandbagging and giving them these quote
Yeah.
unquote cupcake type of dudes. How much better can you get without fighting the top guys before they leave?
So, Legend, go ahead. I knew you was gonna get in here.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I honestly felt like Otama got a lot of praise for beating Dylan White, but to me, I didn't look at it like that impressive of a victory because White's already been stopped. Now White was in good shape for that fight. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but the fact that Otama got him out in the first round, I think a lot of people praise him too much for that. But like I said, White's been stopped. I mean, he's already chinny. So I mean, it was a good victory on his part, but I still don't think it was that impressive.
Yeah, vlog. We going phenom though. Atama's a phenom. I don't
At
see
this
phenom.
at,
I don't see phenom. That's a
at,
strong
at,
word, bro. That's a
at this
strong
point, all
word.
right, you comparing him to the rest of the heavyweight class. Who would be considered the phenom in the heavyweight class? Who's
But I think
who's big?
I think a class can go through. I think a class can go through certain points, and they don't have any phenoms. Like you could be the best
Well,
in the division, but not a
I
phenom. Like that's a
okay. Well,
strong
see,
word.
see, for me, he's the phenom. He's the youngest. He's the hottest kid on the block. He's got all the tools, so to speak. We don't know about his chin. But who's been able to really test his chin? That's jumped in the ring with him, and
Yeah.
who's out there that's going to test his chin?
So
Like,
I can respect what you're saying. So we're at two different points with Atama. Like I sound, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like you got him top three, top four at heavyweight, correct?
I got him over Usyk technically based on
Okay.
skills and
So okay.
current state
So
in the game.
So I'm in a completely different place. I'm like physically, he has everything that you're looking for as a heavyweight. As a heavyweight, though, there has been very few heavyweights in history that has made that leap at that young of an age without being tested. Like, I just want to see him be tested. But there's plenty of guys to throw him in the ring with to get that test. It ain't got to be 4 or 5 tests. Give me 2. Give me 2. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, he's not, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, he doesn't beat Usyk right now. He's not ready for that type work right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he beats Wardley or Dubois. Right
Let's
now.
be honest. Usyk ain't ready for that type work. Let's keep that solid. This the man that just dropped the belt. This the man that's taking on a retired kickboxer. Like, just stop. He don't want that work. And it's kudos. He did what he's supposed to do in the sport. Give him up or fight what's coming up next, bro. Other than that, then we can stop bringing his name up. I'm tired of the kudos on somebody that's giving me cupcake fights. Got bailed out recently. Let's not talk about the bailout against Dubois.
I will literally bet you that he beats Atama. I will literally bet you. Whatever you
I bet you this. I bet you. All right, you bet he wins, but I bet he don't fight him. How about that bet?
Vlog, but I agree with the conversation. Over Usyk, man. Over Usyk. Come on, Vlog. Not over Usyk, man. You said Atama over Usyk. I don't know.
This the same dude don't want to fight Wardley. You rather give up the belt than fight Wardley?
A Vlog. Hold on. Let me get in the comments real quick. Let me get in the comments real quick, bro. Real quick. Let me see. Absolutely, Joe. Big shout out to you. He said, "What's up? What's up, fellas? Big shout out to you." He said, "Nice hat. Appreciate you." Derek Wiltz in the building said, "Salute, brothers. Salute to you, bro." He said, "Absolutely." Joe said, "Depends on who wins that fight. Atama would do well against Wardley, not do much against Dubois." He said, "Atama is not a phenom. The UK doesn't produce many top tier boxers." Let me see. I'm just gonna get rid of these. Jay Will said, "Damn, Vlog, he not playing with Moses. I gotta see him against a real contender." He said, "That's crazy talk over Usyk. Even Herkovich is a really good test. I actually like that." He said, "Man, you smoking something." Hey, bro, Vlog. So let me ask you this real quick, Vlog. So I understand where you're coming from in terms of how Usyk is moving. Him fighting a kickboxer or whatever, none of us like that. The Wardley situation, we don't like that either. You take away those two things, you go into the ring, Usyk, Atama, skill for skill, experience for experience. Do you still feel that way?
At this point in their careers, it's a crossroads scenario. I think this is where you see the end of an era. And it happens. There's nothing wrong with it.
That's a big comment, bro. That's a huge comment. I haven't heard you show this much confidence in the UK dude since I've known you.
I mean, there's literally not been a UK dude that has the all around what we talk about. Now, as far as outside the ring, I don't know about that yet. Is he that guy for the sport? I don't know. We have to wait and see on that. But what he's doing inside the ring, the steps that they taking, I don't think they forcing it. I think they letting it come to them. They letting everything iron itself out. They're not putting their name out there and always jumping in other people's conversations. I think it's going to happen for him naturally, and these dudes are going to avoid him naturally. AJ isn't calling his name. No other young up and coming Gat isn't calling his name. Nobody's calling his name like that.
Yeah, I just go I'm going based off of prior.
And check this. Check
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
He's literally favored against all these guys we're talking about as far as the odds makers is concerned. So it's not just me that feels like he's the best heavyweight on the planet right now. The only one I'm gonna give y'all that these dudes are agreeing with y'all is Usyk. But I think that's just on accomplishment alone. You're not talking about that crossover point in your career where you're not going uphill anymore. You're backsliding. And now you got a younger dude pushing you downhill. It could be ugly for him. We've never seen Usyk knocked out. Do we
I
really want to see Usyk knocked out?
I guess my point is usually you're with me in terms of young guys that's in the sport. You want to see them tested before you give them the green light. So I'm kind of
That's my
curious as
point.
to
That's my point, Jeff. There is no test for him. The only test is the guys with the
see.
names.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree
Where's
with
your
that.
test? Where's your test? Give me a test. You saying a Sanchez type of Frank Sanchez is a test for Atama? You
It's a
saying
test. It's a test that's needed. Frank Sanchez gives everybody problems. He gives
Frank
everybody
Sa-
problems.
Frank
So
Frank Sanchez Frank Sanchez doesn't make it 4 rounds.
I don't agree with that. I
Frank
don't agree with
Sanchez
that.
goes to sleep in four rounds.
I don't agree, bro. Hey, vlog. I'm gonna tell you this. You haven't even given Boots these types of kudos.
I think Boots goes up to heavyweight and is a problem for Atama. That's how much I elevate Boots.
No, what I'm telling no, that's the reason I said
I know
that,
what you're
bro.
saying.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
like you even
I'm
with
just
Boots.
saying, bro. It's no. What I mean, why I say that, Jeff, because we're at that. Either you're the OG guy, you're the paycheck guy, or you're the guy that's the difference between what they are and what the rest of everybody else is. And he's right there in the middle. He's the best of the rest of everybody else, and technically, he's better than all the guys that get in the paychecks. And there's only 3 or 4 right now. AJ, Guess Wilder. Or maybe Tyson Fury, I guess, still garnering a payday. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Again, like I said, it's only a few of those dudes. So out of those dudes, you think one of those dudes can beat him outside of
I
Usyk?
said
Y'all Usyk.
competition. I said competition. I think he's 21 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Legend, can you check that for me? Can you check and
You know what this
see how old
reminds me
Atama
of?
is? Mhm.
Can you know what this reminds me of? When
Yeah, he's
Mike was at
21.
that crossroads. When Mike was at that crossroads, when all the guys that were supposed to have been better than him were elder statesmen, the Holmes and all of these type of guys. It's
But
phenom time.
that's where I think that's where you and I differ. I'm glad you brought up Tyson. Tyson was a legit phenom at 21. Legit phenom at 21. There's not one person that Tom has been in the ring with where I'm like, yo, that's solid competition right there. And that's my problem. That's
But
my problem.
is it his fault that he makes them not look like solid competition? Now you're blaming him.
I'm not blaming them for anything, but none of them was competition before the fight started. There's not one
Is
name.
that
There's
is
not one
is
name. There's not one name.
is well, what name? What name? What guy can you name right now that you're saying can go
That
is
would
going
give
to
him. That would give
legitimately
him. That would give him
take this?
competition.
Give him competition, let alone have an honest chance to win a fight against him right now.
I'll give you one. Does Big Baby Anderson last 6 rounds with him?
No, Big Baby Anderson proved he ain't got the chin for the top tier.
So
He ain't
he
got the chin.
so Moses Atama would knock out Big
Yeah,
Baby
he
Anderson
knocking
in
out.
6.
He knocking out Gerard
I
Anderson.
have,
Yeah, he
bro. I haven't seen you talk this highly about a person since I've met you. Outside of Boots. Outside of Boots. So I'm actually shocked. I'm actually
the
shocked.
top. I gave
I'm shocked.
Toggle his props. I gave Toggle his props. You know
Hey,
he
vlog.
just playing with it.
You always pull this shit when you're not on fucking camera because I know you're smiling right now. That's that bullshit. Hold on, they run through these comments. Derek Wilt said, "I got a time of packing up Worley and Dubois."
Thank
Fair
you.
enough. Fair enough.
Salute.
Jay Will said, "Vlog is Moses the best young heavyweight you've seen in the last 20 years."
Oh fuck. God damn. Skill wise, no.
I gotta think about that.
Skill wise, I would say no, but as far as just the path that he has to clean his path to achieve some of the things like I could go back to a dude like a Michael Grant wasn't able to do with the physical skills he had. Like, so yeah, I don't think there's somebody. I mean, you got to go back, like I said, to a young Mike Tyson to me. You know what I mean? A guy that uses length, guy that show you inside fighting, guy that can move, guy that know how to cut off the ring. I'm seeing a lot of OG type of stuff.
I like the skill set. So I don't want to. Let me make this clear. I like the skill set from Atama. I love the skill set from Atama. Like he has super middleweight type skill. You understand what I'm saying? Footwork, things like that. The actual base of his skill set, I love it. For somebody that's 21, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing. All I'm asking is this: I just want a couple names. I think he's the truth. I think he's the truth. I just want to see maybe one or two names.
It sounds like I got you in the middle of the street heading to my side of the block.
But I never said I never said that I didn't think Atama was good. I just said I want to see him against one or two names just to validate what I'm seeing. I love what I'm seeing. Don't get me wrong. I love what I'm seeing. I'd be sitting here lying if I told you I ain't like what I was seeing. I just want to see him against one or two guys where I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Now I'm cool with him fighting the Usyk. I'm cool with him. I'm cool with him doing that. Top 2, top 3 guys. I'm cool with it. But I'm treating him no different than I would treat any other 21, 22-year-old that's like flying through the competition. I would ask the same thing from any 21, 22-year-old. Like, no matter what the weight class is, whether I think they're special or not, phenom, no phenom, I would ask the same thing. Jay Will said F.A. Ajagba. I think Ajagba was too stiff for a time.
Man,
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
F.A. Ajagba is a pulled pork sandwich for Moses Atama.
we got slaw barbecue sauce.
Man, slaw all the fixings. All the fixings.
So they a pulled pork sandwich. That is hilarious. Let me see. Big shout out to you, family. Jay Flint 2987. Big shout out to you. He said, "Who are the names? Frank ain't beat Usyk. There's a reason why Frank hasn't even touched a championship after all these years." I'm assuming you're talking about Frank Sanchez. But the thing, Frank is that OG that, you know, if you got a young guy and you wanna find out about your young guy, if he packs up Frank Sanchez, you'd be like, all right. You'd be like, all right, cool. Because Frank Sanchez is not an easy out for anybody.
So you giving Torres action out of stoppage in that fight? You see that going the distance?
Bro, I thought I read that fight was called off too. I could be wrong though, but I thought
they reset. They rescheduled
it, right?
Yeah, okay, it's on Benavidez. It's on the Benavidez card, I think.
I wouldn't. I
got Torres, man. I got Torres.
You got Torres?
Yes, Torres. Now, I was going to ask Vlog about that, but I probably stick with Atama because Torres is short. Now I like him, but he's gonna struggle with the tall guys because he struggled with Bianello. But he comes forward, he brings it, but the tall guys, it's going to be an issue for him. So I see him doing good until he reaches somebody that can use their jab, and he's going to struggle.
I like that comment, Legend. I really do. The thing about Sanchez and about Frank Sanchez, like, he's so much better than Torres in terms of just technical ability. Like, it's no comparison. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Torres will literally have to go in there and be like, yo, like, I'm gonna treat you like Unc, or treat you like Grandpop, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna run you through the ringer. I'm the younger fighter, I'm the stronger fighter. I'm just gonna try to run through you, like just be physically stronger. But if we're talking like skill for skill, like Frank Sanchez has the better technical skills. So that's kind of hard to call, bro. Like that's a hard fight to call. If it goes a distance, they're gonna give it to Torres. They're gonna give it to Torres. Like Sanchez is gonna have to get at least a knockdown to get it on the cards. At least one knockdown. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lean Torres just because he's the younger fighter, but that's the only reason. But if Frank Sanchez can just keep this a boxing match, Torres gonna have some problems. He's definitely gonna have some problems for sure. Derek Wilt said Moses versus Frank Sanchez, 4 to 6 rounds. Frank getting packed up. Derek Wilkes, I would say Vlog got a burner account, but Derek Wilkes be in here almost every show. I can't even say that. Hey, Derek Wilkes, do you think of Tom as the top heavyweight in the division right now? Because you talking like you think that. Let me see. Jay Flint, he said, can't compete when you can't compare. Okay, dropping bars. Okay. He said you have a better chance saying Wilder is better competition for Usyk than Frank, and they both trash. Well, I think with Wilder, Wilder has a shot against anybody because of their right hand. But hold on, Jay. Who is this? Jay Flint. You are very anti-Frank. All of your comments has been anti-Frank. So that is funny. But no, like Frank is a skilled fighter, but he's an older fighter. And when you got a skilled older fighter, you never know what's gonna happen when they walk into the ring because they're an older fighter, like especially at heavyweight. You just never know. You know what I mean? You just never know. Jay Flint said Boots hasn't done anything either. 30 plus fights, and his best win is Dan Jonas. LMAO, yeah, right. Yeah, all right. Well, I know Vlog's gonna get in on that, but let me get in on that first. However you feel about Stan Jonas, that was a unification fight. At 147 pounds, Stan Jonas, Vlog, correct me if I'm wrong, he was top 4 in the division, even without the belt. At 147 pounds when that fight happened. Like Boots is a unified champion at 147 pounds, and he has an opportunity to become a unified champion in the second weight class. So, did you have any thoughts on that comment, Vlog?
Tell your favorite fighter to get in the ring with him. So simple as that. Because none of them did. Porter, Thurman, Spence, nobody from PBC, not Bradley or whoever from his era, and all of them shit talking individuals that's part of this sport. None of their favorite fighters got in the ring, attempted to sign a contract, make Boots a respectable B-side. And he ain't never had no issue with the A-side, B-side thing. That's all the rest of them. That's all their arguments for not getting in the ring in a timely fashion or even taking a fight, period. That's not my man. We humble warriors from uptown, baby. I'm just telling you, man. He only fought who got in the ring, and he handled what he was supposed to do inside the ring. So tell your favorite fighter to stop ducking, come on out of the gym, stop gym ratting it, and actually get in the ring. So that's simple.
Fair enough. Jay Will said Frank looked like a retired bodybuilder in his last fight. I agree. That's what makes the Torres fight so interesting, because I'm like, if Torres is going to be a player, he has to beat Sanchez. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, just from a strategy standpoint, Torres just needs to quicken the pace. You get in there with an older fighter, especially a heavyweight, you have to make the pace quick. If you allow Frank Sanchez to slow the pace down, it's that, that old school B-hop type shit. You know what I'm saying? Slow the pace down, throw 2 punches, grab. Like, you know what I'm saying? It really slow the pace down. So that's the key for Torres in that fight. Jay Flint said, rescheduled. I have Torres winning. Like I said, put like gun to my head, I would take Torres. I would take Torres, gun to my head. Jay Flint, he wasn't active for over a year. Who wasn't active for over a year? Who you talking about? Moses Atama, Derek Wilson. Moses beats all of them guys. Maybe Loma's big homie got a chance. Yeah, I mean, but listen, I'm gonna say this: if you feel like Moses Atama is ready, like if you feel like he's ready and you feel like he's the best in the division, like I mean, his next two fights should literally be the winner of Dubois and Wardley, and then Usyk. Like if that's what it is. Like if you feel like he's the best in the division, he's the best heavyweight on the planet. There is no fights for him to fight outside of those. So I'm not knocking it. You know, I'm not knocking it at all. It's really just vlog. It's been very few times you gave somebody the pass. You know what I'm saying? Because usually we're eye to eye in terms of like you want to see the young cats get in there with a couple of names to kind of validate what we're seeing. So I rarely hear this from you. So
it's just because we're at that impasse. We're at that impasse, and he's one of a kind. So let's not lose that opportunity to give him a chance to shine. Instead of okay, I'm gonna just walk away. Now he got to pick up these belts from these nitpicky type of fights where that nobody's asking for.
Hey, go ahead, Legend. Go ahead.
So I know the age difference between Usyk and Atama is big. That's what like a 17-year age difference. But honestly, if that fight was to happen right now, I would see this fight kind of going like a Floyd Canelo. I see Usyk frustrating Atama. Even though it's an age difference, even though Atama's a big guy, I see Usyk frustrated.
Answer me this question. Answer me this question. It's a very simple question. Who at heavyweight has he fought with the speed of Atama? That you would think that he's slick enough to frustrate a man that with quick reaction at heavyweight and one punch knockout power. There's no frustration there, bro. He's gonna be the one frustrated because he ain't gonna be able to get away from that jab. He can get away from a slow ass Dubois jab.
Are we talking hand speed or foot speed? Or both?
Hand speed, literally. His foot speed ain't gonna do nothing but end up putting him in a corner where he's gonna have to fight his way out. To fight his way out means he's gonna be opened up to one of them shots that no heavyweight wants to really take, and that's straight to the chin.
I will say this.
Remember, Usyk does not fight with you, and we don't know that Atama won't fight with him. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I would literally. Can I see if Atama's not ready, then it would play out like a Floyd Canelo. If he's ready, that's a very interesting fight from a style perspective. But if he's not ready, like if he's not what some people think he is, like this phenom, Usyk's the type of guy that'll make him look bad. But if he's ready, that's probably the best fight in the division right now. That's probably the best fight.
No, but you're asking if he's ready, and I think you're asking that question towards the wrong opponent. The question should be asked, huh?
I don't agree with that. Usyk's done too much. That's disrespectful.
Okay, but Usyk's the one that's babysitting the belts. He's the one that dropped whatever belt he eeny, meeny, miny, mowed and decided to drop the WBO. So I'm just saying.
I get that. Still, Usyk has done too much in the sport to not pose that question that way. Atama hasn't beaten anybody. So I'm not gonna ask that question for Usyk, who has beat a lot of different people, and not ask that towards the person that hasn't beat anybody. Atama hasn't beat anyone, so that question still has to go to Atama, regardless of what Usyk is doing.
I hear what you're saying.
Is there one person outside of the three names that we mentioned that you would want to see Atama fight?
Again, I wouldn't mind Anderson, Gerard Anderson. I wouldn't mind a Torres type of guy. I
Okay.
even wouldn't mind a Java guy. If you're asking if I have to come to your side of the street and say I need continued growth, showing continued levels of growth, yeah, give me these names, continue to party. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at that, but are these guys willing to accept whatever a paycheck is going they're going to get to be just another W? You know what I mean? I don't know that.
I like a Bacoli fight too, though.
Again, is Bacoli willing to take whatever they're going to pay him? Because they're looking for the big fights. They're not going to keep paying these type of guys absorbent amounts of money just to keep
Well,
their guy in front of the cameras.
yeah, outside of the pay though, I'm just running
I
my
know.
mouth.
I mean, I'm better. We also have to talk about why we probably wouldn't see them fights.
I agree with that. I agree with that. That's true. Jay Flint said Xander about to beat Boots. Fam, don't worry. Hey, hold on. Hold on, vlog. Hold on, vlog. We're gonna reenact this, right? I'm gonna read the comment again and then give me your response. All right, you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Vlog? Okay.
Yeah.
Jay Flint said Xander's about to beat Boots, fam. Don't worry.
I never was, bro, but oh man, that's cute.
Oh,
That's
this is a long name. Luis Jeremiah Rodriguez, 5293. Big shout out to you, fam. You just said you. Big shout out to you. If you're not subscribed to the channels, man, please subscribe to the channels, man. That would be absolutely awesome. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But we gonna get into like a few more, then we're gonna be up out of here. So we have Virgil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya. The arbitration is going to be July 12th. And I guess that's going to determine whether Virgil can actually get out of the contract and who's in the right and who's in the wrong. And I feel like it's a perfect segue into that, because you see how easy it was for Xander Zayas and Boots to be made. Like, we literally got a video saying, hey, they're deep in discussions. Vlog, correct me if I'm wrong. That fight was made within what, a couple days?
couple. At worst, let's give them long as 2 weeks.
So we're talking a week or two, right? And Xander Zayas and Boots Ennis is made. Unification fight. You didn't hear about any type of negativity in the negotiations. You didn't hear any haggling back and forth. You want to know why? That's what happens when two guys wants to make a fight. Like that's literally what happens. Two guys want to fight and the promoters are not holding back, then the fights get made if the money makes sense. For Virgil Ortiz, I'm like, this makes him and his team look horrible. Horrible.
Facts.
I'm like, you've been negotiating with Boots for like damn near a year, and you couldn't make it happen, but Xander Zayas does it within 5 to 10 business days.
And to top that off, you call Boots in the ring. I mean, you talking face to face with Boots, but then you on podcast trying to fight Spence. You want to fight Spence and stuff like that, and it was a bad look on Virgil's part, man. So
terrible, absolutely terrible. But like, whatever happens on July 12th, it is what it is. Whether they side with Oscar De La Hoya or Virgil Ortiz, the bottom line is, fellas, if you would have signed up to fight Boots, none of this happens. None of this happens. Oscar De La Hoya is not arguing with Virgil Ortiz manager. Virgil Ortiz is not going back and forth with his promoter. If you would have signed up to fight Boots, none of this happens. And Vlog, do you have anything to add to that? Because I feel like I touched all points.
I just feel like they they knew he wasn't ready for that fight, and they wanted to stay on the path that what's the name that De La Hoya and Golden Boy and them had for him, that beat whoever lost already. Let's continue to keep shining off of other people's wins, basically. And that's the path he wanted to stay on. Now, what they did do in this situation was take the L in socially, but not take the L on the record. Go link up with the man who does it the best when it comes to dancing around in these streets and still gaining accolades is Canelo and whatever promotion he got developing under the umbrella of Turkey and them. So I think that's where he wanted to end up, and all it's just going to cost Canelo because Canelo's going to have somebody that quote unquote takes the banner from him, so to speak. And he picked Ortiz to do it. That's why he's on that fight card this September. You know what I mean? So this negotiation isn't about who's right or who's wrong. This negotiation about how much is this going to cost to separate. That's really what it is. We're just not going to be privy to how much that amount is.
It's fair enough. Jay Flint said, "I'll be back when he does." Who you talking about, Flint? Who you talking about, bro?
You talking about when Zayas beat Boots?
Okay.
I love you for that one. Love me for that one.
Oh man, Derek Wilt said, "Yo, vlog, what's your opinion on Arizona moving there in August, being black and having a 12-year-old son? Just want to be on point out there."
Bro, we out here. I'm gonna tell you that we out here. We just gotta, keep him close, keep him up under the wing. You know what I mean? Make sure you guiding him right and helping him make the proper picks when it comes to socially. You understand what I'm talking about? So, that's up to you if you open to that sort of situation, because that's what's going to be out here when he touch school, getting in these high schools, all kind of bunnies from the other side of the track going to be, hopping all through the hallways. So if you got him focused on, you know what I mean, what we are, then I think you'll be all right when it comes to that, because the pickings is great on that side too. I got one, born and raised in Arizona. Cold piece, you know what I mean? My bottom.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I got some peoples out there in Arizona too. And I think they would make the same statement. It's kind of just like, just stay within your space, move how you're supposed to move. And you really shouldn't have any issues. Like Arizona's, beautiful. A lot of people end up moving to Arizona, especially like people that like work for a long time. They're getting into that retirement stage, things like that. A lot of people step out to Arizona. Like that's one of the places to be, man. So definitely good luck with that move, man. And we support you, just in boxing, outside of boxing. Like that's a big move for you. So we salute you for that, man. And much blessings to you and your 12-year-old son, man, for sure. Jay Flint said had to fight him 2 times to make it look like he did something. Is he talking about Karen? Is he talking about Karen?
Yeah.
Hey, Jay Flint. So let me ask you this question, because I don't think I've seen Jay Flint on here before. So whenever somebody new comes on the show, I like to see if I'm on the same page with them. So Jay Flint, Boots fought Karen twice, right? How many rounds did Boots lose against Karen? Simple question. How many rounds did Karen win versus Boots? They fought a total of what?
24 rounds.
24 rounds.
Yeah.
How many rounds did Karen win against Boots? Simple question. I just need a response back, baby. Bobby, what's going on? He said, in a way, beats Junto. Is he the unquestioned pound for pound number 1, especially with Usyk fighting the cherry pick kickboxer? If he beats Nakatani, I think so, bro. I think so.
I don't think so. That win does not eclipse Shakur over Tiafimo and the way Shakur did it.
Can I say something real quick, bro?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
I'm quoting your unless you put out an amended rankings list that I'm unaware of. You
Yeah.
had you had Inoue ahead of Shakur even after the Tiafimo fight.
No, I had Shakur number one. That was the last one I did. I had Shakur number one pound for pound. That was the best performance out of everybody that was on the top 10 list.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So would you have Inoue number 2 in that scenario?
Yeah, he has not fallen out of the top 3 spot.
I think you
Again,
had
you
him what?
talk
You had him like third, right? You had him third.
Yeah,
Right?
I had him third because I had Haney over him. Because again, you talk about going up in weight and beating what is quote unquote was a power puncher, a guy that had knockout of the year. So you fighting, he was fighting Debo at the time.
You know
You know what I
what?
mean?
You know what ranking I was thinking about? I was thinking about the ranking that you did before the Shakur and Tiafimo fight. I think you had
Okay.
you had Inoue ahead of him before that
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Jay Flint said he said, nah, my first time, fam. No, listen, hey, bro, make sure you subscribe, man. Stay locked in with us, man, because we like this energy that you bringing. But still don't avoid my question. How many rounds did Karen win against Boots out of 24 of them? Because I would say Karen, I think
Two.
Did he win 2 rounds? 3? Maybe?
I give him 2.
2, 3. It's kind of hard to argue when a guy gets beat 21 out of 24 rounds. Like, and the only reason he fought him twice is because Karen was the number 1 contender. He was the mandatory again. He fought 2 more times and they made him the mandatory again. So it wasn't because Boots had to prove something. He just had to fight that fight to keep his belt. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep things in context as well. And this the topic I wanted to get to. Errol Spence, Tim Tszyu, July 26th in Australia. So we knew the fight was going down. The fact that it's in Australia is absolutely crazy, but I understand why now.
Now you do. Oh, you didn't when I brought it up though.
So I gotta give a backdrop because the discussion that Vlog and I had was off camera. So we had a discussion about where the fight would do better at, like financially, right? And Vlog said it'd do better in Australia. I was like, hell no, it'd do better in Texas. So now, do I still believe that? Yes, I do. But here is where the Australia thing comes into play. And I think this is something Vlog and I did not touch on during the private conversation that we had. So Haney and Rowley, right? Haney and Rowley pretty much didn't happen because there was no guaranteed money that was offered to Haney. Everything was based off of pay-per-view numbers, things like that, and then Haney would get basically back-end money. So for the people that don't know why that fight hasn't happened, that's the reason why the fight hasn't happened. Basically is a PBC model pay-per-view, and they were unwilling to give Devin Haney a base amount. Like everything was based off of how the pay-per-view did. So when I seen that the fight was going down in Australia, I automatically started laughing. I was like, I'm gonna have to hear from this dude Vlog. I was just like, he probably done posted something. And I'm like, I look on my phone, I'm on Threads. He's like, I told you G5 this joint was going down in Australia. And I was like, I said, yeah, bro. I said, you did say that. But the thing that's crazy about that is that I think they tried to get Spence to fight in Texas, and they wasn't going to give him no guaranteed money. It was going to be based off that pay-per-view. And I think basically PBC was like, okay, if you travel to Australia, we'll give you a number. We'll give you a guaranteed number. And I think Spence just jumped on the guaranteed number because Rowley wasn't even going to get a guaranteed number. Everything was 50-50 between Haney and Rowley, but nothing was guaranteed. Everything was based off the pay-per-view. and it seemed like that's just how PBC is doing business. But Spence is the bigger name fighter. And if vlog, we did say this during the phone conversation. The only way that Spence goes over to Australia is unless they offer him a big guaranteed number. And I think that's what happened.
Or they didn't want to invest in a fight out here, and Spence didn't get garner the support that he had prior to losing to Crawford. So
good point. Good point.
You know what I mean? There's no guarantee he would have filled one of those stadiums in Dallas or down in that Texas area. You know what I mean? Like before, yeah, no doubt about it. You know, Jerry Jones or somebody would love to have a Spence fight in one of them stadiums, but it's been so long. Again, no guarantee based on how you look in the last fight that you can win this fight. So I don't think they want to invest X amount of dollars for the setup with no guaranteed payoff at the end.
And that's the thing. Like, and it's, I mean, that's how it played out. You know, with Tim Tszyu being in these streets, you know, being active, being busy. You know, whether he getting his ass whipped or not, you know, he got the country behind him, and he's been busy, and Spence hasn't been busy. So that's, you know, it was kind of funny to see that, but that I think that's going to be a really good fight. But Spence is probably going to have to get at least a knockdown or two to see anything on the scorecards if it go to the scorecards. But that changes the whole dynamic of that fight with it being in Australia.
Yeah. The way he has to fight, yeah, it does. No doubt about it. We definitely have to look into strategy and breakdown and definitely discuss that one a little bit further for sure.
Absolutely. The location of that is very, very important. Go ahead, Legend.
Yeah, I'll say this. It's a tricky fight because, like you said, Vlog, it's 3 years. We already see this with a lot of fighters anyway. They fight a year, every year and a half, but you're talking about double that. 3 years. That's a long time. New weight class. So I was going to say that Spence has been in this position before, but he was active, though. We know what he did to Kell Brook in his backyard. I think he can definitely take advantage of this moment, you know, get himself back in the mix. But to me, it's still a tough task. 3 years, new weight class in the guy's backyard. And like I said, the guy's been busy. So it's tricky, man. It's tricky, but may the best man win.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough task, bro. That's a tough task, man. Like that changes everything, bro.
And
like,
let me ask this too. I'm gonna ask this: if Spence loses, where does he go from here? The man got the Jamaican dreads and everything now. So
yeah, he how he sounding right now, Vlog? How Spence sounding?
Hey man, why y'all deal with?
Oh man, yeah. Legend. That's a good question. If Spence loses this fight, and especially if he loses in bad fashion, I think people are going to want to see Spence pack it up like people want to see Keith Thurman pack it up. You know, I think that PBC era, I think if Spence loses bad, that PBC era with Spence and Thurman and Sean Porter and, you know, Wilder and all of those guys, I think that era ends. You know, I think that era ends. You know,
I mean, they still got Tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what's Tank doing though? But yeah,
he get ready to fight. He get ready to fight Pitbull for the 15th time.
It's crazy. Like Pitbull, like I said, like that's like I just don't want to see that fight. But Tank got
Answer me this: Do we see Tank Russell?
Nah.
Who, Gary Russell?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
I don't know. I don't think. Hold on, we talking about Gary? Are we which Russell we talking about?
140 Russ.
Gary Antoine.
Yeah.
No, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening.
Well,
simply because I think they're gonna put Tank up against anybody that they feel is they're gonna get a return as far as like the money. I
I
think
mean,
Tank is
yeah,
at that
it's not
point.
a big. Yeah, that's a big fight, hardcore, but it's not a big fight,
Yeah.
casual. So yeah, I get it. But yeah,
Jay Will said I'd rather see Kid Austin versus Tank than Pitbull
I
and
heard that, but I'm so
uh,
tired of these mugs telling me about who they want to fight and who they supposed to fight. Show me a contract. When I saw that, I didn't even comment on it. Show me a
a
contract, man.
vlog. Who's doing more talking right now, Kid Austin or Jamel?
Mel. Because Kid
Jamel.
also not really the talker, is
It's
his
his
sassy
dad.
ass father.
This is
So
dad.
he's been sort of quiet lately because I think got on Auntie Helmet and he probably got tired of that shit. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think Mel is doing it properly though. Mel is trying to make sure he got fannies in the seat when he finally does get somebody across the ring from me, and it's just the jaw jacking that you need to do. He's also showing good work, you know what I mean, sharing that he in the gym. So I think he's doing it the right way, you know what I mean, showing up at fights, you know what I mean.
You think he gets a fight in 2026?
Oh yeah, I think the PBC they're beat up financially, done themselves wrong if they don't get him in if it's not a big fight. Or, I mean, not a mega fight. At least it's a big fight, and I think they can, even if it's in house.
Bobby said, "Are you pro Zuffa? Rumors of Devin signing with them." Vlog, you want to chop up on that?
Go ahead and back yourself in a corner, lock yourself into a league. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
hey, Bobby, the thing about this, man, a lot of times boxing kind of repeats itself. When Al Heyman and PBC first came out, like this is exactly what they were trying to
They
do.
did. Yep.
Like, yeah, like everything was just in house. So I don't want to pitch this off like we've never seen this before. Like when PBC and Al Heyman came out and they got all of the fighters from Golden Boy and all of that, like they were all in-house fights. They were all in-house fights. Like we've seen this before. Um, after a while, I think they just mixed and matched to the point to where people was like, "Yo, we're not supporting this unless you fight some other people outside the umbrella." So we've seen this before, bro. Like, has Zuffa signed some guys? Yes, they've signed some guys. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna fight in a league, it comes down to the competition. Like the competition is only within your league, and you still don't have enough. You still don't have enough, to create consistent competition. Like, so I'll give you an example, right? So Richardson Hitchens, he dropped his belt at 140 pounds to go up to 147, right? Let's say Oscar Duarte says, you know what, I'll meet you at 147. Oscar Duarte wouldn't be able to fight Richardson Hitchens unless Oscar Duarte signs with Zuffa. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, what other fighter at 147 exists at Zuffa for Richardson Hitchens? Like, who is he going to fight? A Brandon Lee? I like Brandon Lee. You understand what I'm saying? I like Brandon Lee. But what does that do for Hitchens' career if he fights a Brandon Lee? And I'm not even sure if Lee is at 54 now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, are we talking Connor Ben, Richardson Hitchens at 47? Like, even if that
Good.
fight happens, like, yeah, like even if that fight happens, like, what's after that? Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's just Zuffa just doesn't. They don't have enough fighters within the umbrella to turn it into a legit league. They can sign as many fighters as they want, but can you create consistent competition throughout that league where it's going to be fights that everybody wants to see over the course of a couple years? You understand what I'm saying? Like
And
that's
so
the thing with
far,
Zuffa.
their fight schedule, their promotion, you fight on Sunday nights. They're not doing the model that they put out so far is Tuesday night fight esque, and it's a poor version of that. That's a poor man's version of Tuesday night fights, and it's on a
And
Sunday night, bro. Like who?
yeah,
What? Like
yeah, and
they
it
only expect ballers to watch this shit. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, bro,
A vlog, and this is another point that I want to make. Like, we're not shitting on a Tuesday night fights type thing. We grew up on a Tuesday night fights type model. You
But
understand what I'm
for
saying?
all the hoopla, it should be better. For
That's exactly
all
what I
the
was getting.
money,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
okay.
exactly what I was getting to. The When you're promoting it as if this is going to be the best boxing thing smoking, right? And then when you actually watch the fights, you're not even giving the fights enough justice because you done hyped it up so much. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you actually break down some of the Zuffa fights that has occurred, it's been some good one punch knockouts. It's been some couple of good action fights. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at it from a Tuesday night fight, pro box TV type lens. But when you get on the camera and you say, hey, we're coming to take over the sport of boxing, F.A. Ajagba versus Charles Martin didn't do that. Like, Shane Mosley Jr. versus Boachuk is not doing that. And I like that fight, but it's not accomplishing what you're actually talking about. The lens that they're painting is too big for what's actually happening when you watch a Zuffa card. That's
You
just
know what?
what it is.
It leaves you. It like anything that they do will always ask you, well, where does that lead to? So what does a win like a Shane Mosley win over a Boacek really do? Let's say before the fight, what
Right.
does that do for him? Like, does that set him up for somebody across the street? No, we already know that's off the table. Who in house? You haven't given us a roster of names for us to even go over for your in house type of fights for us as fans to say or answer for ourselves what's next or what we would like to see next. We have
Right.
no input. Your fighters have no input. They can't speak to the media. Who are they trainers? We don't know any of this information that we usually know as general boxing fans and can discuss about the whole entire game.
Right.
We can't talk about that with him, with that
Right.
league, because it's a league. It ain't a boxing promotion.
Yeah. Jay Will says Zuffa card May 10th has a good main event with Bull Chuck and Mosley, but the undercard not good. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you look at it from a Tuesday night fight, Pro Box TV type lens, Chuck and Mosley is a good main event, but you can't have that main event and then say you're taking over boxing. Those are two completely different things. You understand what I'm saying? Two completely different things. I just want for them to tone down the talk of them taking over the sport. Even if they get what they want with the Ali Act and all of that, and they turn it into a league, you don't have enough people. Like, you signed over 100 people. That's all well and good. That's gonna get you maybe what they have 8 divisions in Zuffa. They have 8 divisions. That might get you competitive fights for maybe 2 years tops. Maybe, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, they signed Hitchens. Who is Hitchens gonna fight? They signed Berlanga, but who's Berlanga gonna fight? You know what I'm
He
saying?
go he gonna fight Hitchens at a catch weight.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you signed these names. You know what I'm saying? Like, you signed these names, but it's like, who are they gonna fight? Where's the competition gonna be? Like, no matter what's going on, no matter who the promoter is, no matter what the league is, with boxing, it still comes down to who is fighting who, and is that acceptable to the boxing public? It's really that simple. Like, we complicate things and all of that. The fight that you're putting in front of us, is it a competitive fight, and is people interested in watching the fight? That's what. And when you make it into a league and you basically shut yourself out from everything that's going on across the street, you have limited your options. And whenever you limit your options and you have like this exclusivity to it, it usually doesn't last long. Usually doesn't last long. So it's like they just have to change, like, the marketing of it. Like, because you have people that's not boxing fans, like Legend, Vlog, and myself. You got casuals thinking like Zuffa coming. They coming for the crown. And I'm like, What fight has Zuffa put on since they've been in existence where you like, yeah, like that's the fight. I think the most they've done is they put on fights and you like, oh, all right, that's a solid fight. Like that's solid. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's solid at best. I haven't vlog. Have you heard a fight from Zuffa where you're like more than solid? Like that's a solid fight?
I'll use the word like okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like I said, when you fight, like that's the platform you fight on, and you that tells you what that fighter is capable of next. It's not a platform that tells me this is what's going to happen next on this platform or in this promotion. It ain't even at PVC early stage level. Like I
Yeah.
think PVC kind of had it together as far as the roadmap of what fights they wanted to line up, try to make based on results and things like that. This dude and them, I don't think they have the fight matchmakers in boxing. Like it's different than the MMA. Like you can get two grapplers together and make a good fight. You can't get two boxers together and make a good fight all the time. Because one of those boxers is gonna have to turn into the aggressor. And we spoke on that earlier when we was talking about Haney and Stevenson. So it's the
Yeah.
same scenario, bro. I just don't see that they the way they laid it out, they really thought it through.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree. And Jay Will said G5 True is more of a hardcore boxing fan fight. Like I said, if this is happening without Dana White's name being slapped on it and them trying to change the Ali act and all of that, we'll be like, oh, okay, like this is Pro Box TV souped up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at Zuffa, and this is just to kind of just round this up so we can get up out of here. Jay Will, the thing, no, it's not Jay Will, it's Bobby. Um, and the original question was, are you pro Zuffa? Rumors of Devin signing with them. The thing with Zuffa, you gotta look at the meat and the potatoes. At the end of the day, their two best main events as far as names has been F.A. Ajagba versus Charles Martin and Shane Mosley Jr. versus Boachuk. Those are their two best main events out of what are we on? Zuffa, what, 6, 7?
But and look, their biggest signing was supposed to be Opataya, and even his fight wasn't
Yeah.
something that makes you sit on the edge of your seat.
That was a glorified stay busy fight.
Pretty much.
It was a
Brandon
glorified
Glenn, his opponent Glenn just looked like an amped up bodybuilder, man. He
Yeah.
just looked like a bodybuilder in that fight, man. He was too stiff.
Yeah, and it's like, Glenn's okay. Like I don't think he's trash, but I'm like he's okay. But I'm like Opataya literally, I think he's literally backed himself into a corner. Like they signed two cruiserweights. I don't even remember their names, but they signed two cruiserweights, and I'm like, I guess those are going to be Opataya's next opponents. And it's just like you're literally going to have to recruit guys just to come there and be an opponent. And that's where I'm like, Zuffa, when you say you're not going to deal with the sanctioning bodies, you're not going to deal with none of the other promoters, you're going to make this simply like a league and you're going to turn this into boxing with a UFC style. I'm like, this is not going to last long term. Eventually, all of these guys is going to want to fight the guys from across the street. The league is going to become stale because I'm like, there's just not enough opponents. There's not enough opponents. If you're not willing to play ball with everybody, that's what happened with PBC. That's what happened with PBC. They did in-house fights for a while, but after a while, vlog, they was like, yo, we got to start playing across the street because people not interested in what we got going on.
And y'all shelving too many people because you're not able to put on enough events because you spread yourself too thin. So now
Right.
you're gonna have fighters that's gonna be on the shelf and they're gonna be looking to take you to court. Then you're gonna have all these legal things coming into play while you're still trying to put on the production. I just think overall it's not gonna work. That's why they
Yeah.
want to fight the Ali Act. So whatever they planning, things can be more in their favor. If it doesn't work out, at least they can say, well, we got this changed and we can start all over again and attack it from this angle. But this to me seems like a failure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're not gonna know whether Zuffa is gonna be a failure or not. I would say at least we
That's
got
why
to
I said
see where.
teams.
Yeah, we got to
I
see.
said
We
so. I
got to
said
see where.
teams.
Yeah, we got to see where they're at 3 years from now. Like if they still around and they doing a thing, then okay, cool. But the way they're going about things, I just don't think they're gonna have enough names for the big name guys that they've actually signed. Yeah, like Opataya has no opponents. Like Berlanga has no opponents. Hitchens has no opponents. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, just the big name Connor Ben has no opponents. Like, the best fight they can put on is Connor Ben and Richardson Hitchens. That's the best fight that they can put on. But if and when that happens, what's next? What's next? They don't even have a ranking system. They don't have a rank. They have 8 divisions out of what? 16? They have 8 divisions out of 16 and have no rankings because they don't have enough fighters to actually create a ranking system. They could do a top 5. They could do a top 5 Zuffa rankings, but they can't do a top 10, top 15 Zuffa rankings for each division. They can't. They got what, about 110, 115 fighters, Vlog?
I think they can only do a top 10 roster. But that's all
Just
they can
top
do
10 and all
overall.
of, yeah, just top
Yeah,
10 pound for pound and Zuffa.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
can't
That's
do,
that's about it.
yeah.
And that would have to be a marketing strategy, not to as a selling point. Like, look, this is where we're starting at. Now, what we plan to add to this, but they're not even telling us that this is like a starting point. You already out the gate,
Yeah,
and what you showing us coming out the gate doesn't have me looking forward to the future. That's all I can say.
yeah, and one more thing before we get up out of here. The thing is, I think what's going to start happening is that they're going to ask Opataya to fight names that he's not interested in fighting. They're going to ask Hitchens to fight guys that he's not interested in fighting. They're going to, like they're going to ask these things, and it's like that initial money is there, but after about a year or so, they're going to be like, okay, like we got the money, but it's like now what? Like is Zuffa going to start putting on what, pay-per-views? Like what are we doing? Like you understand what I'm
Ugh.
saying? Like if you are you going to give me a Connor Ben versus Richardson Hitchens pay-per-view at 147? Like is that really what you're going to give me? Like you understand what I'm saying? Like is that what you're
Yeah,
going to give me?
that's why I
Like
said it don't look good for the future. It does
don't
not
look
look good.
don't look good at all, man. But we gonna close it out right there, man. Hour 32 minutes strong. This was a pretty good one for being off for like a week. You know what I'm saying? But we got
Yeah,
we didn't even
touch Benavidez,
yeah, we didn't
Zerto.
touch we didn't touch Benavidez, Zerto, we didn't touch Inui and the Inui fight. It's a
Yeah,
whole bunch of other
AJ,
stuff.
yeah,
Say it again.
AJ.
AJ, we didn't touch
and
AJ.
we back Thursday
We
or what, fellas?
yeah, Thursday we back at it. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna cover all the rest of those topics along with whatever else gets to you know
Pop
what else we
up.
didn't cover? You know what else we didn't cover? They came out with the undercard for Boots and Zayas, and that undercard looks solid. That undercard looks solid. It looks solid.
Need
They
the
got some
support.
names.
Need the support.
Got some names on there.
Support the
Um,
king, baby. Support the king.
Yeah, Jay Will said y'all got to come back this week. Thursday, we right back at it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna cover all of those topics. To be honest with you, that's probably we was aiming for an hour today, but I think the atomic talk took us to about an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? But we're probably Thursday. We're probably legit hour and a half show, like for sure. It's enough topics to actually cover that. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a bunch of other fights that we need to cover as well that's coming up in May.
Eubank, Zufa. I
Yeah,
mean, Safar. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
it's so much. It's so much to cover. You know what I'm saying? But Legend man, we appreciate you jumping on, man, in this corner podcast, man. Give him your social media and all that, big dog.
Yeah, Facebook, Todd Finney, IG, the Legend 3347. And man, I just want to say, man, shout out to the Jetta Promotions card, man. I didn't get a chance to make it out there, but from what I've seen, they had it, like I said, they had a different venue, nice setting, a lot of people in the house. Crew Design was in the building. If you guys not familiar with Jamal Harvey, he's signed with Most Valuable Promotions, and I had an off conversation with a promoter, and he was saying like Jamal Harvey should have been turned pro, but like I said, he signed with MVP, and like he's on the big stage doing this thing. Salute to him because he's from Maryland. But like I said, man, shout out to the Jetta Promotion, man, for putting a beautiful card together, man.
Yeah, for sure. Jamal probably should have went. He probably should have went pro about a year ago.
Yeah.
Well, they got that young little phenom back in there this weekend, I think. Scarborough back in there, so they got some.
like
Yeah,
that's May 1st. May 1st.
Yeah, so he's back coming soon. So yeah, they got some work going on out that way. Just within that little area, that little tri-state area. There's some good work out there for sure.
Jetter got some Jetter be having some solid cars, bro. Like it's just with his cars, they always seem to fall on the same date as a big fight.
And AJ fights on the 25th.
AJ fights.
What I understand, Jetter has his card on the 25th. So it's like every time, man.
Every single time. He never gets the shine that he deserves. He never gets the shine he deserves, man. But I mean, well said, man. Boxing First vlog, man. Everybody favorite OG, Mr. Unruly himself, man. Give him your social media, all that good stuff, and what you got cooking.
Man, you see me. I'm on YouTube right there. Check me out. Just dropped a video and a little preview breakdown for this weekend's unification at cruiserweight. I'm all over Instagram. Just posted about Chavez Jr. and his little comeback KO. He looking real crispy at cruiserweight. Could he be at this fight coming up? Look at some names on that list. Y'all jump in that comment section too. Tell me who y'all think he should face next. I'm also on Threads. I'm banging in them boxing streets on Threads. So look me up. Use the number 1 for them 2 platforms for the word first. And tap in with your OG, man. I appreciate the support.
For sure, man. I'm all over the place, man. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Everything G5 Jeff TV. Videos for myself will be back this week. Kind of just had a rough week, you know what I'm saying? But we back at it on Thursday with episode 31 of Throw the Hook podcast. But on behalf of Boxing First Vlog, everybody favorite OG, Mr. Unruly himself, Ty Finney the Legend in this corner podcast, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. This was episode 30 of Throw the Hook podcast, man. We will see y'all on Thursday. Get your ass in here on Thursday. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.